Professor, and you can find my beauty blog at beautyprofessor.com. Greetings from my new office. In commemoration of this new space, I'm excited to be sharing with you my favorites of 2019. Now, I've divided this video into 3 parts. The first part will be 1 or 2 items from each month of the year that were new releases. So I went back through my blog, Beauty Professor, where I publish multiple stories a month, and I chose 1 or 2 products that I thought really stood out to me because I've been using them all year since their launch. The next portion of the video will focus on foundation. I'm going to be sharing with you my top foundation rotation that currently is a part of my life. And then finally, I'll share with you perennial favorites. So sometimes there are products that just continue to be a part of my routine day after day, regardless of how new or old they are in my collection. A quick reference to this outfit. Bodysuit is Free People. I will link to it, and my pants are from Topshop. I sized up because I wanted a really oversized trouser fit, and I love them. They hit right at the higher part of the waist, but they're not uncomfortable, and they have a nice full leg. This video has taken multiple days to prepare because I shot all the product and I've swatched it for you as well. So you can swing on over to Beauty Professor. I've linked it below so that you can see swatches of everything that I've discussed as well as pictures of everything in action. All of the makeup on my face today, culminating in this look, in some way, shape, or form is reflected in my favorites. So anytime I get to a product that is on my face, I'll make sure to mention that. I'm also filming this video by myself while the baby takes a nap, so I'm hopeful I'll be able to get through everything in a timely manner, and I'm working with some new technology to make that happen. Let's get started. So my favorite product of January 2019 is the Clé de Peau Enhancing Eye Contour Cream Supreme. I get asked about eye cream recommendations multiple times a week from my readers and followers. And so I am always testing eye formulas, but I have found that this particular version has been a winner for my complexion. And I recently bought a jar for my mom as well, and she loves it. You can see how much I've already made a dent in it. I use just a touch in my orbital region. It's nourishing without being heavy. It instantly brightens and adds hydration to this delicate zone, and I found that with consistent usage, my eye or orbital region is looking its absolute best. So I highly recommend this. I think that while it's a luxury splurge, it's at a achievable price point, and a little goes a long way, so it'll last you through a good half a year to a year, depending on how frequently you use it. My pick for the month of February is the Giorgio Armani Power Fabric High Coverage Foundation Balm, and I can wear it in shade 6 and in shade 7, so I kind of bounce between the two. I purchased this right after it launched because I was so fascinated by a cream foundation for Armani. I remember using one years ago that has since been discontinued, and this one definitely exceeded my expectations. Don't let the word high coverage throw you off if that's not your thing, and it's really not my thing either. I much prefer medium. I find that this one is buildable, it's lightweight, it's not too heavy, and you can just dab it onto your skin for a skin-like finish that lasts all day without settling into fine lines. Just like all Armani foundations, the shade range is excellent, so most skin tones should be able to find a suitable match. And that is why it's my pick for February. For March, I want to show you the Laura Mercier Rouge Essential Lipstick. This is in the shade Nude Natural. And while this is the shade that I focused on in March, I will say I've used a lot of other colors from this particular formula all year long, so I'll try to highlight those in the details box below. Nude Natural, however, is what originally attracted me to this formula. I love a good 1960s creamy pink, and so as soon as these were released, I ran to the store and bought them. Later on, I ended up getting all the colors in a press mailing, but prior to that, I bought a few shades, and this was the first one. So I like this because it's nourishing, it's buildable, it's smooth, and this particular shade is great for a pale pink nude lip look, but it also can be worn over a too dark lipstick if you need to lighten things up. It's just a great multitasker. So focusing on the Sisley Paris L'Orchidée Highlight Blush in Coral, which is a coral shade. And I have focused on this in countless videos over the course of the year, as well as blog posts. I use it almost every day on my cheeks. I love the fact that it has a triune of colors, this pale kind of highlight tone, a little bit deeper peachy warm tone, and then a true coral pink in the center. You can apply them strategically or swirl them together for an overall flush, but it gives your skin beautiful dimension. You get a nice flush from within or lit from within look, but it also is slightly glowy without being shimmery. I want to show you the La Prairie Skin Caviar Powder Foundation. I wear it in honey beige for most of the year. You can see it's got a lot of wear at this point. This is a really interesting foundation because I don't know about you, but powder foundations tend to make me a little nervous. I don't want them to look dry or cakey over the course of a day when it's your single standing base, but this one is transformational in that department. You can use it as a setting powder or as a touch-up powder. It's light enough for that. But if you use it with a dampened beauty blender or even one of the La Prairie foundation brushes and buff it into moisturized skin, you get a beautiful, almost dewy skin-like finish that stays in place all day. As well as, of course, infusing your skin with skincare benefits, which is the case for all of La Prairie's for the month of June. I want to show you the Clé de Peau Radiant Liquid Rouge Matte and Shine formulas. These are something I reach for constantly. They're staples in my purse, both in the Shine, which is the glossy formula, as well as the matte, which is more of like a velvet suede finish. So I was, of course, a really big fan of the original Radiant Liquid Rouge. I wear number 11 still to this day. And when I was told that they were reformulating, I was a little bummed, concerned that the formula would just feel very different from the one that I loved. It is different, but not in a bad way, because it gives you two options for finish. The shades that I wear most frequently include Sugar Jelly, which is a peachy pink that just instantly brightens up the complexion. I also love this shade in the matte formula called Nectar, which is a bright kind of peachy coral, also in my color zone. And then, of course, shade number 1 in the Shine formula, which is Sepia. I have swatches of every single shade in the lineup, so I'll link to that below. But if you haven't tried these yet, give them a go. They offer great color payoff, extreme hydration, and a really comfortable, long-lasting wear time. Another pick for June, and I did have two for this month, is the NATASHA DENONA Tan Palette. This is a stunning quad of warm tan tones that contour and shape the face while adding highlight and an incandescent glow to the skin. The tan tone here is deep enough to work on a host of complexions, and it is blendable and matte, as you can see here. And then you have 3 versions of highlight in various textures: a super light, pale, shimmery champagne, a little bit deeper, warmer glow, and then a cream glow as well. So you can experiment with layering for your optimal complexion. I use this year round. You can see it's had plenty of use, and I actually have a second one in my bathroom ready to go because I'm reaching for it all the time. For July, I am sharing the Kosas 10-second eyeshadow. I love the philosophy behind this eyeshadow, and I love the formula and performance. So the intention here is that you should be able to create a full eye look in 10 seconds or less, ideally not even using tools, just your fingers. And so Kosas set out to create a liquid formula that would allow you to do that. I will say these eyeshadows live up to their claims. You just shake it really well, dab it onto your eyes, blend. You can add other colors if you wish, because all the shades seamlessly blend with one another. And then once it dries down in just a few seconds, you have a glowing, radiant, color saturated eye that does not crease. Also, Kosas, of course, is a clean line, so there are no harmful ingredients in any of these shadows. I picked a few warm neutral tones for you that are ones I reach for frequently, and I swatched those on the blog so you can see them in action, but I have swatches of every shade, so I will link to that as well. The month of August often brings a swath of new foundation launches, and that was definitely the case for this last year, 2019. The foundation that I chose for this month to show you first is the SURRATT DEWDROP foundation. I've known about this idea of the formulation for a long time, being close friends with Troy, and I was just eagerly anticipating its release. This is a lightweight, light to medium coverage, a buildable foundation. It comes in one of the coolest, most innovative packaging components I've ever seen. It literally just allows you to drop however much product you need by depressing a button on the back side here. I can wear it in a few different shades, namely 8, 9, and 10, and you'll just see that this foundation allows your skin to look radiant and healthy, a pure skin finish that stays in place all day. For the month of September, I want to show you some key pieces from the Victoria Beckham Beauty eye range. During that month, she released eyeliners, eye lusters, and also powder eyeshadow quads. This is in the shade Tweed, and it is my favorite of the 4 shade offerings. It's warm, velvety, neutral, and really easy to apply. Also, I love the eye cajoles. These are very waterproof, stay in place eyeliners. I go crazy for the black shade. I'm almost about halfway through it, and a little goes a long way. I apply it right along my waterline like I have today, and it stays in place all day. This shade is often sold out, so if you can find it online, and I'll try to link to it, I suggest snapping it up. It's just excellent. And then finally, the eye lusters, which are creamy, buildable, kind of gossamer veils of color. A little goes a long way. You can use your fingers to kind of spread it along. My favorites are Mink, which is a kind of deep taupey brown, and Blonde, which is a radiant creamy gold. Both together, kind of blended up towards my brow bone, are insanely easy to use, and it makes you look like you've spent a lot more time on your eyes than you actually have. My picks for October are twofold. The first is the By Terry Hyaluronic Hydra Powder in shade 300, which is medium fair, my match for the entire year. This powder is infused with hyaluronic acid, so you do not get a powdery finish. It comes in a vast shade range, and I have swatches of many of the shades on my blog, so I'll link to that. But I like to use this as an all-over finishing powder, and so I use one that's closest to my skin tone. I love using the double-ended brush, so you can obviously use the fluffy side of this By Terry brush to distribute it all over your skin. It gives you this airbrushed veil. Well, Johanna just woke up from her nap. I still need to finish up the month of October, so here she is. And for my second pick for this month, it's the Charlotte Tilbury Luxury Palette of Pops in Pillow Talk. I've been a big fan of the Pillow Talk quad for a long time, ever since its launch, but I'm always yearning for those pop shades, those shimmery shades that are just so forgiving you can put them on in a hurry and make your eye luminous. And so I was thrilled when these 4 shades were released because they achieve that look easily. I am wearing it right now. I created this entire eye look in less than 2 minutes. And I just love the fact that all 4 of these shades can be built to pretty good opacity and intensity, and they resist creasing all day. For November, I am sharing the Kosas Wet Lip Oil, and I wear it in 3 shades constantly. The Clear Jellyfish, which is literally like a lip treatment. I can put it on before bed, and my lips are just full and hydrated and taken care of by morning. Also, I love this pink tone, which is called Malibu, and I guess so does Joey. There you go. And finally, the Neutral Rosy Tone Dip, which is beautiful. These are clean formulas. Yeah, they are. You don't have to be worried about who you're kissing or what's, yeah. Oh, thank you. And they give your lips moisture, a beautiful shine, as well as a gorgeous dose of color. For the month of December, I'm focusing on a single skincare product that was a brand new launch for that month. That is the U Beauty Resurfacing Compound. I was grateful to receive it as an advanced press sample and gave it a very diligent try. It's designed to replace many products in your lineup. Thank you. So for me, I wash my face and then I apply a pump or 2 of this, and then I follow with moisturizer, my favorite of which I'll discuss a little bit later on in my Perennial Favorites. I have found that it really helps with pigmentation or hyperpigmentation. It smooths the skin. It also kind of like lightens up darkness or dark spots, and for that reason, I highly recommend it. I'm probably about here in the bottle, and as soon as I finish, I will be continuing with the you. All right, on to foundation, you guys. Bear with me here. I am going to talk about some formulas that I use regularly. The first is the Westman Atelier foundation stick. I'm finding a lot of success with shade 6 right now. I've tried it in other shades, and certainly those shades work for my skin tones in other parts of the year, but 6 is a good match for my current NC 25 to 27 skin. This is a buildable full coverage cream foundation with completely clean and green ingredients. I find it works best when I just apply it straight from the stick and then use my fingers to kind of work it into my skin, followed by a dampened beauty blender to get a seamless finish. I feel like there's a little bit of a learning curve with this one just because the coverage is so versatile, but once you find out what works for you, then it's a gorgeous, clean formula that lasts all day. Next is the Sisley Phytotint Ultra Eclat. This is a stunning skincare infused foundation with a skin finish. And this was a new release for this year. I wear it typically in a mix of soft beige and sand, but I'm leaning towards a little more soft beige in the winter months when my skin is lighter because sand is actually a good kind of medium to almost medium tan skin tone. I have swatches of both on the block. And if you're looking for an oil-free foundation that feels hydrating still and lasts without settling into any fine lines, it's great even for mature skin, then this is something. Next foundation that has been a very regular part of my routine is the Serge Lutens Spectral Impalpable Foundation. It's a matte foundation, and I wanted to include it in this lineup because it's the only true matte foundation I'm showing you today in my lineup, and it is matte, yet I would argue it still has more of a skin finish. I just demonstrated application of it in my last tutorial, but I will say that 040 is a great match for my skin. It's a really beautiful liquid foundation in terms of the way it glides onto the skin. One pump for me gives me almost medium coverage. A little bit more than a pump moves me from medium to full coverage. For me, it's really important that a foundation stay in place all day and not be requiring a lot of touch-ups. And the Spectral really lets that happen, and my skin stays looking fresh and even. Joey's confirming that. The next foundation in my lineup is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Foundation. And I know I've already mentioned it as one of my favorites for the year, but certainly I had to mention it here because I'm using it multiple times a week. As I said before, medium to full coverage, a little goes a long way. It does give you a healthy skin finish. It's what I'm wearing right now in shade 7.5. One of my favorite Japanese foundations is the Suku Extra Rich Glow Cream Foundation. And this one is something I wear in shade 035. It's a perfect match for me for the entire year. This is a Lush skincare enriched formula that imparts beautiful medium to buildable full coverage. It has a soft skin finish. It diminishes the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles. It doesn't settle into those areas. I'm a big fan of Suku bases in general, so it's always hard for me to just kind of select one or two to focus on. But if I had to take one on a desert island, it would certainly be the Extra Rich Glow. Another line that has a lot of foundations that I really appreciate is Clé de Peau. The one foundation I'm including in this video is the Radiant Cream to Powder Foundation. It comes in a compact. I have a good match in 030 and 040, depending on the time of year. You can see 040 here has had a lot of wear. This is a silky cream foundation with light, buildable all the way to full coverage, depending on how much you apply. I like to use a dampened beauty blender to put it on, but I love the fact that it has some SPF. It is a powder finish at the end, so you get long wear, and it also looks like. And the final foundation in my lineup that I'm discussing for this video is the Guerlain The Essential Foundation. Natural glow, 16-hour wear, so it's got that natural finish and long-term performance. I wear it in 035 neutral. I have swatches of every single shade in this lineup on my blog, so I will link to it. But I like the fact that this has a lot of water, so it's hydrating. The ingredients are essentially clean, which is great for kind of like a mass market luxury foundation. And it has an SPF of 20, so you get some good protection from the sun as well. I like to apply a single pump. I usually don't need more than that, and then I'll use a dampened beauty blender to evenly distribute it. You get a very even, fresh and clean looking canvas that plays well with other products. And on to my final category of this video, that would be the perennial favorites. As aforementioned, these are products that I use year-round that likely weren't launched this year but are still regular parts of my routine. I'm going to start off with the By Terry LASH-EXPERT Twist Brush Mascara. I have gone through countless tubes of this since trying it for the first time in Paris upon its release almost 2.5 years ago, almost 3 years ago now. And this brush has a lengthening component as well as a volumizing aspect when you twist the brush. The formula is long wearing, it doesn't flake off or smear. It's just a fantastic all-around mascara. I expect nothing less from Terry. Another perennial favorite would be the 3 lipsticks that I created with Christian Audet. So they're shades that I wear all year round because I tried to create shades I would want to wear all year round. I am currently wearing this shade Go Lightly, which looks like this, and also a beautiful pinky nude called Johanna, named after my daughter, and the shade L, which is a pure, lively, blue-toned pink that looks great on all skin tones. So I'll link to swatches of everything. Next is the Tom Ford Cream and Powder Eye Duo in Golden Peach. I talk about it constantly. This is a testament to it being a perennial favorite. I've probably run through 4 or 5 of these over the years. I purchased a few pots of these for close friends of mine to gift them something that I love so much myself this Christmas. It's just one of those colors I hope I never have to go without. Another Tom Ford favorite, often in my handbag and often on my lips, is the lip color in Spanish Pink. This is a very easy to wear light pinky peach. It is softer than other shades I own in this particular kind of color palette, and that's why I like it so much. It's lovely on its own with nude lip liner, but it can also be used atop a darker lipstick to brighten things up. It has some white in it, but not so much white as to be overt or bright. It's just a very easy classic color. Another lip color that is always within reach for me is the Au Naturel lip gloss in the shade Magnolia and also in the shade Slip. I wear both interchangeably. They're both really pretty, neutral pink, glowy shades, and they look lovely by themselves or on top of existing lip color. I love the fact that Au Naturel is all clean in terms of its ingredients, and the color payoff and lasting power are equally significant. Then I would be mentioning the skincare that I use most often atop my U Beauty, and that is the Augustinus Butter, the Rich Cream. Once again, something that gets a lot of mention on my blog and YouTube channel, and that's because I've gone through multiple bottles of this since it's launched well over 2 years ago. My mom and I both love it, and while she uses the regular cream, I like the Rich Cream because it gives additional hydration and extra glow. A single pump, morning and night, is all my skin needs to have anti-aging benefits and proper moisture and a beautiful kind of plump result that has me addicted to this cream. I wish I wasn't, but I am. For concealer, my consistent go-to is the Clé de Peau The Concealer in shade Almond. It's what I'm wearing right now. I just put a touch straight from the bullet. I blend it out with my dampened beauty blender, and I get crease-free coverage that lasts the day. Another product that is super performance driven, that's a perennial favorite, is my Skin Inc Tri-Light. I have provided you guys with demonstrations of how I like to use it. I've talked about it in countless blog posts. It's just a really handy gadget because you get multiple light settings to target a host of skin concerns, everything from brightening, tightening, anti-aging, antibacterial, like if you're working on banishing a pimple, and also it has microcurrents. So this is a really interesting skin device because it's got that light microcurrent combination. Almost every other device I try is either one or the other. They're effective, but the fact that I'm getting both in a single treatment session makes this one on my nightstand all the time. I use the Orbe Run Through Detangling Primer in bulk these days. My hair is long, as it always has been, but it's definitely prone to tangles. And so when I use my Orbe following whatever hair care I'm using in the shower, and I do have a vast rotation just to keep things interesting, I always follow with my detangler. This is in the travel size, but I also keep a large size in my bathroom. Just a couple of sprays vanishes all snarls and tangles and makes it really easy to brush through my hair even when it's soaking wet. I've learned that I'm an ardent cream blush lover, and probably my favorite to date here is the Clé de Peau cream blush in the shade number 4, which is Perfect Peach. It is just such an easy color to wear on the apples of your cheeks. I have it on right now. It brightens up the complexion. You look like you're having a very natural flush that's not over the top. And there's a touch of glow to it, which is what I think makes it look so natural on the face. Also always on my cheeks is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Bronzer in Luminous Bronze Light. This gem is so easy for warming up the face and the complexion, for doing some subtle contouring. I apply it in the hollows of my cheeks, around the perimeters of my face, across my jawline, and maybe even down a little bit to make sure everything is seamless. But it's a daily go-to for me. I try so many different bronzers, many of which I love, but if I had to go with just one, it would always be this one. A perennial favorite for brush is, of course, my SURRATT Artistic Cheek Brush. I use it in every single tutorial, almost every blog post. I also love the highlight brush. And when it comes to SURRATT, nothing beats this lash curler. For powder, I love the Cogendo Gloss Film Foundation Powder. I wear it in shade number 123, sometimes in shade 203. Both are good for light, medium, olivey skin tones. But this is one of those powders that just imparts moisture on the skin. You can use it to set your makeup, or use it as a touch-up, or as a foundation. It's that versatile. Almost finished. Another perennial favorite for me is the Tom Ford iQuad in African Violet. These colors are not probably shades you'd think I would use regularly because they're so bold and bright, and I tend to be a more subdued neutral lover. But I get a lot of neutral looks out of this palette. The purple can translate almost as a rosy pink if you apply it lightly. This warmer shade right here can come across as a lovely sunset neutral, and then this radiant gold and deeper sable brown look amazing together as neutrals. So I love playing around with these 4 shades as a mix. It's interesting, it's fresh. I think that violet often complements green or lighter eyes, and of course these warmer tones look good on absolutely everyone. This is the one bath and body product I'm showcasing in my perennial favorites, and that is the NECESSAIRE body wash. It's a multivitamin formula. I have it here in eucalyptus. I also love the sandalwood. This is something I use every single day to obviously cleanse my body, but also it's great for shaving, and it's so stellar in terms of ingredients. I'm very impressed with the NECESSAIRE line as a whole. And the body wash is something I've gone through at least 2.5 bottles of over the last year. My perennial favorite when it comes to a true highlight is the Westman Atelier Super Loaded Tinted Highlight in Peau de Pêche. This is my second compact of it, and it's already receiving a lot of wear. I have it on right now. I put it on my upper cheekbones, down the bridge of my nose, a little in the center of my forehead, and maybe a touch at my cupid's bow or chin area. It just, because it has a tint, I think it looks really natural on the skin rather than an obvious shimmery finish. And it's silky and emollient, so it just kind of blends to your canvas effortlessly. I use it nearly daily, and even in conjunction with other highlighters, I feel like it's just one of those versatile products you need in your makeup bag. And finally, something new for your makeup bag. I want to show you the Nude Envie Cream Blush in Ibiza Nude. Now this is a kind of peachy nude. It's got some great color payoff. It's definitely in the color family that I love, and I like putting it on the apples of my cheeks, which I did today. It just breathes life into your complexion. I'll have swatches of the other cheek products from Nude Envie coming up soon, but in the meanwhile, I wanted to show you this brand new one that I have been wearing non-stop since receiving a week or 2 ago. So concludes my best of 2019 video. If you made it to this point in the video, I thank you, I commend you. I hope you found this interesting and enlightening. I put a lot of heart and soul into rounding up these products and making sure to give you what I thought would be the most salient details of each one. I feel so blessed and honored to be able to test beauty and skincare all year long as a part of my job, something I've been doing for 8 years now. And it's so important to me that I'm showcasing what I think is the absolute best of beauty on a regular basis. Of course, it's but one person's opinion, and I'm a firm believer in the fact that not everything works for everyone, which is why it's so wonderful that we have such a spectrum of options out there in our beauty industry. I wish you a healthy and happy new year. I hope that your 2020 is full of growth and productivity and fulfillment and purpose, and I look forward to continuing to spend time with you. I would love to know what has caught your eye in this video, so please leave me questions and comments below. And in the meanwhile, don't forget to visit me at Beauty Professor, which can be found at beautyprofessor.com. Take care.